If I were a record label, this is the smartest thing ever. Hey, now when you break down the numbers of a label deal, it makes a lot of sense why they would want to buy your catalog. Because even if they were to give you 1 million smackaroonies, to you it's a lot, but to them it's chump change considering the returns they're going to get back. I mean, making it as an artist is pretty hard by yourself, but that's only because you don't have the same resources. But if you were to have the same resources as Time Warner, you'd be able to have, let's say, $1 million given to the artist as a royalty advancement. And then going forwards, even if they were to spend $20,000 in marketing, such as influencers, getting that circulating on TikTok and other marketing channels, that's only 20 grand. And then another 15K on advertising. You've seen these new artists, they put their ads out on, Google ads or Facebook ads. Warner Music does the exact same thing. Finally, the returns they get is so much more. Hypothetically, you get $1 million, they get 17,000. And not to mention, you don't see your royalties until all of this is recuperated. So it makes a lot of sense since all you gotta do is put the money through their pre-made funnel of marketing and distribution. If I were a record label, this is the smartest thing ever. Buying a house or renting a house. Buying your masters or setting up a distribution/publishing deal with you as an artist. If I was a Mr. Record label, I'd much rather own your masters for a pretty good reason. And that is because if I own your masters, then it's gonna be exclusive to what I want. If you own your masters, then sure, you can do one publishing or licensing deal with me for maybe 4 or 5 pieces of work, 5 singles, maybe even an EP or album. But the problem is you can do other things on the side with that same music. You can take your song and you can get it in video games. You can get it in movies. You can do a bunch of different sync deals, mechanical licensing under other avenues. The only problem is if I'm a record label, I don't want to compete against other guys with that very same song. If I own the song, then I get to make targeted campaigns with full control. And the problem is if you or the artist have the control, you might say, no, I don't want to do this. It doesn't go with my morals, my virtues or whatever. But labels, for the most part, they will want to make a return on their money. So if I have full control of your masters, not only will I get to use it now, I'll get to have it in the future. I get equity in your brand. If you think about it, it's more like an investment than anything because the record label invests in you by taking your masters away from you. So basically they invest in themselves. And if I was Warner Music guy, I'd really want to have a really nice catalog with a bunch of good artists. Because all the old artists like Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, they're not going anywhere, and you and I kind of know that. So the question is, where do we fit in all this? If you're a new guy, such as Kid Laroi, or even Lil TJ, the problem with your catalog is it's kind of risky. We don't really know if you're going to be bringing in as much revenue. So at least the money that we have from the old catalog, from all the classics, is going to fund our new ventures. If I own you or your masters and you kill it and you become a household staple name, then by owning you, then you're going to give us more and more money over time through the catalog and deals. It's just basic economics at the end of the day. Exclusivity. The number one thing that every monopoly hates is competition. And considering that there are only 3 major record labels in the world that are pushing 90% of the music market, then you can say that they're monopolies by definition. And listen, Warner Music, I'm not saying this out of spite, I'm just stating the facts here. So as a big top 3 record label, if you want to take an artist and you want to make them a big part of your catalog and actually earn money from them, you need to make sure that they're exclusive. Because if it's like an NLE Choppa kind of deal where they work with you for a select amount of songs or singles, it's going to be good at first, but after a while when the artist makes more money and they realize, hey, I can kind of do this myself, I have the resources and the fan base, they won't need you and they're going to be taking all of the potential earnings in the future. If I'm exclusive to just one place, then that one place is gonna have all the earnings. Labels need your masters in order to do this because as their catalog grows and grows and grows, they add new artists. Probably I'd say maybe 50 to 100 new artists every single year. And when these new artists come in, a lot of them are gonna bust within the first 2 years. And the labels can't risk giving $1 million to 50 guys and them all fail. So at least if you kind of win and you keep that guy, it makes up for the other retaining losing artists. It's kind of a really odd, business model because only the toughest can survive and the rest, like you and I, are left wondering what happened. But hey, no guts, no glory. You win some, you lose some, as long as the outcome is income. Masters. When we think of record label executive, we think of some old white guy wearing a nice 3-piece suit. In reality, it's probably some lean, drinking, True Religion, jean wearing guy with a do-rag on. By that I mean, artists sign other artists. If you look at this graph that I made right here, you can see that Travis Scott is signed to Kanye under his Good Music imprint. And Kanye West was originally signed under Jay-Z under Rockefeller. And they're all labels, but they're all subsidiary labels underneath other labels. This looks familiar. It looks kind of like a pyramid. Is the music industry just one big Ponzi scheme? Well, let's not say that just yet. We still need to do more investigation as to why the masters want to be kept. However, what we can say is Kanye West, he owned at least 50% of the masters of his artists under his imprint. How do I know that? Because he gave it back to the artists during his campaign on trying to get the masters back for the artists. Interestingly enough, if you can own the masters, then as soon as the artist starts doing more and more future work, you're gonna be getting royalties, you'll be paying off that. You'll be 90 and eating goulash soup off of the money coming from the royalties and masters of another artist's track. It's a pretty nice investment. Guess we gotta rethink the whole business model. If artists are signing other artists to other artists to other artists, then it's just, at the end of the day, we're all middlemen salesmen. Now, the age-old but also unasked question is, where the hell do these record labels get the money to pay these artists for their advancements? Seriously, I mean, where's it coming from? These money has to come from somewhere. If you actually look at it, it makes a lot of sense that it's old money versus new money. Old money being all the money that comes from the back catalog that the record label owns. And in simpler English, that basically means the Beatles, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury. All of their releases in their catalog is still earning royalties on Spotify through DistroKid, of course. So the question is, the money must have to come from the revenue that the record label has, meaning the old artists are paying for the record labels to buy the masters for the new artists. And if you think about it, the label is just getting more and more masters. It's just a plethora of masters coming into the label's hands. But still, if you're an artist and you know you're not gonna keep your masters or gonna have any of the benefits that come with the royalties, why would you sign your rights away? Bob Dylan. He's an old guy, a rather old fellow, and he's not gonna live for too long. He doesn't have 50 years remaining. In a person like him, it makes sense to sell back your masters because at least you're gonna get money back and you can use that towards perhaps, going out with your family and buying some villas and just killing it as an artist. So just remember, even though you're gonna be losing a lot in terms of masters and ownership, you're also gonna be getting liquid cash deposited to you. Although you have to pay a portion of that back, anything after that is yours and yours forever. So I always see people hating on record labels because they're so predatory, but as long as you understand your terms and you have a decent lawyer, which you've gotta invest in, you'll end up fine in the deal. Just make sure that it's not too crazy and there's always a negotiation. And remember, if a label actually wants you, there's probably gonna be 2 or 3 other labels that are gonna compete for you too. So always browse your options if you're going label hunting. And if you feel that, okay, F labels, I'm never gonna go that route, then you don't have to worry about it in the first place. But just keep in mind that labels are also ran by other artists that wanna also give an opportunity to the little guy. If you wanna sign somebody yourself, guess what? There's probably gonna be a conversation about who owns whose masters, right? So just look at it from that end and think about how it's a whole business and their hierarchies. At the end of the day, are record labels evil? Probably not. Are some of their practices predatory to young urban youth that don't really understand what's going on, all the terms that even lawyers struggle to read with? That is absolutely correct. But at the end of the day, it's just business. So if you walk into this with a business mindset, you are going to crush it in the game. All right, so the video's done, but you know what isn't finished? Your music career. This is just the beginning. Tap below because we have a blog that helps you check how to get the most authentic Spotify promotion, how to build your fan base, and all this amazing stuff for you for free. If you like free things and you want to crush in your music game, tap that freaking link, dude. Also, make sure you leave a comment below. Would you get a record deal in 2021 or whatever year you're watching this? I want to hear your thoughts below. I'll see you then. And who knows, if it's really good, we can start a conversation and maybe you can have a roast off of which record label is the worst, the best for artists to sign on to. Adios. Gosh. Meow. Gavin Lear brought the cat to the lake. I told him not to. Shit.